Hello students, today I will take up a new poem that's name is Indian Summer. And this is a very short poem, and this poem is written by Jayant Mahapatra. And we have already discussed the life and achievements of Jayant Mahapatra. And now Jayant Mahapatra is one of the major Indo-Anglian poet. First of all, you need to know who is Indo-Anglian poet. And here is the two terms, first one Indo-Anglian and the second one Anglo-Indian. Here is a bit slight difference in between of two. Indo-Anglian literature, that means is the Indian efforts in English language. And Anglo-Indian literature is used to devote the writing of Englishmen in English about India and Indian life. And Indo-Anglian literature, in this literature, the poets translated work of writers into English language from Indian language is the Indo-English literature. Jayant Mahapatra has given immense contribution of Indian Anglian poetry. It is organized in a variety of the themes. Jayant Mahapatra has written a number of poems, and all his poems are different and take up the different themes that is based on Indian society. And we can clearly understood Indian sensibility by his poems. Jayant Mahapatra and this poem Indian Summer. And this poem is one of the most beautiful poem, and this poem consists of only 11 lines. It means this is a very short poem. But every line presents the various pictures of Indian society. So let's start this. First of all, I will read the poem and then I will explain it line by line, because every line describes a very prominent and important theme of Indian society. And now text. Over the soughing of the somber wind, priests chant louder than ever. The mouth of Indian opens, crocodile move into deeper waters. Morning of heated maidens smoke under the sun. And here is a maiden, that means Danghe. And the good wife lies in my bed through the long afternoon, dreaming still, unexhausted by the deep roar of funeral pyres. This poem presents a various picture of Indian society. And this poem has been taken from Mahapatra's collection of poems, A Reign of Rights. As we know that Mahapatra has a number of poem collection, and this poem Indian Summer is derived from one of his collection that's name is A Reign of Rights. And with imagistic technique has used here, and like other poems of Mahapatra, this poem is also a remarkable example of imagery and best selection of words and the beauty of compactness. Now start explanation. First line, over the sounding of somber wind. In these lines, the poet presents the picture of Indian summer. The wind is blowing, and we know that in summer, in the morning, wind is very cool and very soft, and the wind is blowing and the cool breeze is blowing, but the whole atmosphere is sad and gloomy because the sound of the wind is not pleasing, because the wind is very cool, but the atmosphere is very sad and gloomy. That's why the sound of the wind is not pleasing. The sound that is created by the wind is soughing. That means the wind is expressing mourning or expressing sorrow of something. What's the reason is that the wind is not pleasing in the Indian summer? Due to this summer season, all the men and women of the village go to the field early to do their work. So in their absence, the villages get deserted. In other words, we can say that a sad environment prevailed in the village and in the Indian society. And the next line, priests chant louder than ever. In this line, the poet presents the picture of the Indian morning. Indian morning start with the priest mantras, and we can see that every morning start with the mantras of a priest, and he is chanting mantras loudly because the wind compelled him to do so. Until now, in villages, we can see it in these times, in present day in villages we see that Indian people woke up with the chanting of mantras. Chanting of mantras in temple, chanting of mantras in gurdwaras and in mosques also. And the next line, the mouth of India opens. And these lines also present a very important and prominent part of the Indian society, and we can see in our life, the mouth of India opens, that this is the real picture of Indian society. That means that these lines hold a very deep meaning, presents the another theme of the Indian society, and the theme is that crisis of water. It means in the first line, the poet presents the gloomy environment of the village, and the next line, the poet presents the second picture of Indian society that start with the mantras of a priest, and the third theme and third picture of the society start with the mouth of Indian opens. In this line, you can say it very deep in meaning, this line. And this line presents the picture of the crisis of water in Indian society, basically in summer season. And the Indian experience gives a glimpse of itself. And in this manner, people eagerly waiting for raining. And it seems that everything widely open their mouth and waiting for water. Everything, that means dried well, dried land, dried leaf, dried pot, and all are the human beings and animals waiting eagerly for a draught of water. And we can recall the scene of Lagan movie. You have seen it, Lagan movie, and where villagers waiting for the rain. And it seems that, and to see the scene, it seems that mouth of India widely open to drink a draught of water, right? And the next line, morning of heated middens, smoke under the sun. And in this line, the poet also presents the another theme and another picture of the Indian society. That is, the poem is a typical Indian poem, and expressing distinctive aspects of the Indian society, the poet realistically described the oppressive heat of the Indian scene. And here Mahapatra presents the another picture. And which another picture? And that Indian heaps of rubbish and dunghill, and we can see in a number of villages in rural areas there is a rural woman made up a dunghill, and a place, it can be seen in different places, and the poet presents the miserable life of the Indian, and they wanted to get rid these heaps of rubbish. And the next line, the good wife lies in my bed through the long afternoon, and dreaming still unexhausted by the deep roar of funeral pyres. The poet describes the long afternoon of summer season. The poet says that a good wife, and this good wife, it can be she can be the wife of others, she can be the wife of poet, and says that, and this wife presents the every woman of Indian society. And he presents the picture of Indian ladies, those who take rest in this long afternoon, and who confine themselves to the four walls of their houses, and their philosophy concern at death. And they are far from the reality of the summer, and they are deep in dreaming, and this long and hot afternoon of Indian summer has not exhausted her, and they are Indian women are unexhausted. She continues dreaming despite the sultry and hottest noon, unexhausted by the deep roar of the funeral pyres. And in this line, the poet says that dried wood burns noisily. In the summer, we have already know that dried wood burns noisily, and it seems that the pyres keeps on burning with the sound. And in these lines, the poet integrated the unexhausted sleeping of Indian women and burning of dried wood symbolically compared to the death. Right? Here is that means the dried wood symbolically compared to the death. And she has come to accept death as an integral part of the life. And students, if we give a glance to this poem, and we find that here are different things, and here is a different 11 lines, and in 11 lines, and the first one is the somber wind is blowing, a temple priest are chanting, crocodile moved into deep water of village ponds, and heaps of rubbish, and a picture of good wife and who takes rest in long afternoon, and burning of dried wood. All are not interrelated, but if we all these lines are not interrelated, they are separate, and they stand for a separate themes. But if we taken together, and we find that they constitute the prominent features of Indian summer, of Indian society.